From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.
Good day. This is Dateline Malacañang. Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Sunday launched Phase 4 of the Pasig River Rehabilitation Program, promising to turn another stretch of the historic waterway into a walkable, bike-friendly hub for leisure, commerce, and sustainable travel. During the launch at the Loton Pasig River Ferry Station in Manila, the President said progress does not always mean building something new. Sometimes progress means bringing something beautiful back to life. The new 530-meter segment stretches from behind the Manila Central Post Office to Arroceros Forest Park. It features walkways, bike lanes, and commercial spaces, connecting seamlessly to earlier completed phases near Intramuros. President Marcos said the project aims to create a continuous riverside path that will link people, culture, and opportunity. The chief executive also envisioned it as a leisure and lifestyle destination for all, from food lovers to fitness enthusiasts and even romantics. President Marcos noted that the earlier phases have already become viral tourist spots on social media. The President said small and medium-sized businesses would be allowed to set up along the new commercial spaces. To clear the site, the government relocated 63 informal settler families to Naik in Cavite Province. The Philippine President likewise highlighted recent efforts to modernize river transport, citing the MB Dalaray, a locally designed electric ferry launched October 6 and which will be fully operational by November. The government is also testing ClearBot, a solar-powered artificial intelligence-enabled robotic vessel, in partnership with the Asian Development Bank to help clean up waterways. President Marcos also revealed that he and Manila Mayor Isko Moreno are eyeing more urban transformations. These include the conversion of the Intramuros Golf Course into an open public park, rehabilitation of Plaza Calderon in Binondo, and the planned upgrade of the Loton Underpass to improve pedestrian access to the Esplanade. The President credited First Lady Liza Araneta Marcos, whom he fondly called the administration's non-stop energizer bunny, for driving the initiative, which recently earned the 2025 Asian Townscape Award from the United Nations Habitat.
Every time we gather here by the Pasig River, we are reminded that progress does not always mean building something new. Sometimes, progress means bringing something beautiful back to life. This Phase 4 will connect seamlessly with Phase 1 of the project, creating a continuous riverside path that will link people, culture, and opportunity. Sikat na ang pasyalan ng mga natapos na bahagi ng proyektong ito. Tignan niyo po sa Instagram, sa TikTok, sa Facebook, marami na pong nagpo-post na bumibisita rito. These are the perfect spots for everyone. For the foodies, there's a wide selection of classic Filipino merienda and global flavors to satisfy all your cravings. For the health conscious, there are bike lanes and walkways ideal for running or cycling, or as demonstrated by my son, also skateboarding. For the romantic at heart, you can enjoy a sunset stroll hand in hand with your significant other. At kung wala pa siya, baka naman dito mo naman mahanap yung the one. All these efforts are part of a larger vision to create a culturally rich urban environment where history, nature, and modern living come together seamlessly. This is yet more proof that when the national government, the private sector, LGUs, and the communities collaborate and work as one, great game-changing things will happen. There's much still to be done, but we're consistently moving, especially with the help of our most industrious and non-stop energizer bunny, the First Lady.
That was Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
Meanwhile, Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. advised Filipinos to shift from panic to preparation as a string of earthquakes continues to hit various parts of the country. The president said disaster survival begins at home. In his latest vlog, aired Sunday, President Marcos said households must identify safe zones before disaster strikes, including common meeting points inside and outside the home. Beyond planning, the chief executive reiterated his long-standing call for every Filipino household to prepare a disaster go bag. The president also encouraged the use of rugged phones or radios in case power and communications are disrupted. President Marcos likewise warned against misinformation, saying fake earthquake alerts during the recent tremors caused unnecessary injuries. The chief executive instructed the public to track advisories only from the Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology, or PHIVOLCS, Philippine Atmospheric Geophysical and Astronomical Services Administration, or PAGASA, and local government units, police, and first responders.
Unang-una, magplano. Magkaroon ng plano at alam ng bawat miyembro ng pamilya kung ano yung plano na yun. Pati na yung mga kasambahay. Saan ang evacuation area? Saan tayo tatakbo? Saan ang meeting place kapag lumindol? Saan pa pupunta? Saan tayo magkikita-kita? Para pati yung nasa labas ng bahay, pagka linindol, alam nila kung saan tatakbo, makita ang kanilang pamilya. Siguruhin na isa itong safe na lugar. Turuan ng mga bata kung ano ang dapat gawin nila kapag may lindol. Ang pangalawa, maghanda po kayo ng go bag. Ano nga ba yung go bag? Ano bang nasa loob ng go bag? Mga importanteng dokumento, papeles at pag-aari na hindi talaga natin pwedeng maiwan. Ilagay din ito ang mga basic survival item tulad ng mga pagkain, delata, biskwit, tubig, first aid kit, napakahalaga. Mga gamot, iyan pa, emergency hygiene kit, flashlight po, pito, lighter at iba pa. Maaari rin ito lagyan ng rugged phone o kaya mga radyo. At mas mainam kung makakapaglagay din ng emergency cash sa inyong go bag. Pag kailangan tatakbo, nakahanda na yan, hindi na kayo maghahanap at mangungulekta ng inyong mga gamit. Nandyan na lahat ang mga importante, basta't kukunin na lang ninyo sabay alis para hindi nang kayo ma-delay doon sa loob ng isang building o sa loob ng inyong bahay. Ngayon, nakikita natin, mga LGU natin, ay may mga kanyang-kanyang proyekto para magbuo ng go bag. Sundan nyo po yun. Nandun po lahat ang pangangailangan natin sa emergency. Isa pang mahalaga ay ang tamang impormasyon. Importante na may tamang impormasyon kayo sa mga ganitong panahon. Alamin ninyo ang abiso ng LGU. Makinig sa ating mga otoridad, barangay official, munisipyo, Coast Guard, police, first responders at iba pa. Alam din ng mga importanteng numero na kailangan ninyong malaman. Emergency numbers kung saan pwede sumaklolo. Ipaskil ninyo ito sa inyong bahay, sa kwarto man o sa refrigerator, kung saan man. At syempre, makinig sa balita. Radyo, TV o social media. Meron lang akong pag-iingat. Pag-ingatan ninyo yung fake news. Noong nangyari sa Davao at saka sa Cebu, meron mga dumating na fake news, naniwala ang mga kawawang biktima at sila sa kakatakbo, sa kakatago, sa kakapunta sa ibang lugar, marami pa rin nasaktan. Ang pakinggan lang po ninyo ay ang mga balita na nanggaling sa mga official website ng mga ahensya ng government, local government man, o sa national government, sa police, sa pillbox sa Pag-asa. Doon po kayo makinig. Huwag po kayo makinig sa hindi nyo nalalaman kung saan galing na balita o na impormasyon.
That was Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
In other news, the Armed Forces of the Philippines, or AFP, has denounced what it called false and misleading social media posts claiming President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. had threatened to abolish military pensions. In a strongly worded statement Saturday, the military said there is no such directive, statement, or policy from the President or any government agency suggesting the removal of military retirement benefits. The AFP said this claim is baseless, malicious, and intended to mislead. The AFP said military pensions are protected under existing law and are considered an earned benefit granted only after at least 20 years of honorable service. These pensions, it said, cannot be revoked arbitrarily and may only be forfeited if a retiree is convicted of a crime after due process and final judgment. The military directly called out Cavite 4th District Representative Kiko Barzaga, urging him to stop spreading disinformation that could demoralize soldiers and divide the public. Barzaga has been vocal in criticizing the administration, even calling for the president's resignation. Reaffirming its loyalty to the Constitution and the nation, the AFP vowed to continue serving with honor, integrity, and patriotism.
Dateline Malacañang.
Meanwhile, former Philippine Defense Secretary, Executive Secretary, or ES, Congressman, Peace Advisor, and Deputy Chief of Staff of the Military, Eduardo Ermita, passed away at his home in Batangas Province on Saturday. He was 90. In a Facebook post, Ermita's daughter and Balayan Mayor Lisa Ermita Abad said, "The retired general lived a full life in steadfast service to the Filipino people." From libingan ng mga bayani in Taguig City this weekend, Ermita's wake will transfer to nearby Heritage Memorial Park until his interment on October 23rd at 11 in the morning. In separate statements, the Armed Forces of the Philippines, or AFP, and the Department of National Defense, or DND, hailed Ermita as a distinguished soldier, peacemaker, statesman, and leader whose decades-long service shaped both the military institution and the civilian bureaucracy. The DND paid tribute to Ermita's influence beyond uniform service, highlighting his role in national peace efforts and professionalizing the military. Secretary Carlito Galvez Jr., Presidential Advisor on Peace, Reconciliation, and Unity, said, "Ermita exemplified the finest qualities of a soldier, a true officer and gentleman, a statesman, and a peacemaker." Batangas Governor Vilma Santos Recto and the provincial government also condoled with the family of the Batangueño soldier and statesman whose life was dedicated to public service. Ermita served as Deputy AFP Chief of Staff from 1986 to 1988. Batangas 1st District Congressman for 9 years from 1992 to 2001, Presidential Advisor on the Peace Process in 2001, and Acting DND Secretary from 2003 to 2004, and ES from 2004 to 2010 during the Gloria Macapagal Arroyo administration. He graduated from the Philippine Military Academy in 1957. Within hours of his passing, his elder brother and former AFP surgeon, Dr. Crisogono Ermita, also died at 92.
Dateline Malacañang.
In other developments, Philippine National Police or PNP Acting Chief Lieutenant General Jose Melencio Nartates Jr. on Sunday instructed all commanders to be on alert in areas affected by Tropical Storm Ramil. In a statement, Nartates said sufficient number of personnel and resources were deployed and placed on standby. Nartates also directed police commanders to maintain open lines of communication. Meanwhile, the Alpha Alakdan Company of the 91st Infantry Sinagtala Battalion under the 7th Infantry Kaugnay Division of the Philippine Army showcased its commitment to public service through a rapid humanitarian assistance and disaster response in Dingalan, Aurora. In coordination with the Philippine National Police Dingalan, local government unit, and Municipal Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office, the Army troopers evacuated 37 families, or a total of 115 individuals, to the municipal gymnasium. According to the Philippines Weather Bureau, Ramil is expected to exit the Philippine area of responsibility on Monday morning.
Dateline Malacañang.
Meantime, the Department of Social Welfare and Development or DSWD has initially provided 720,925 pesos in aid to families affected by Tropical Storm Ramil. DSWD Assistant Secretary Irene Dumlao of the Disaster Response Management Group said the initial aid consisted of 382 family food packs or FFPs and 547 ready-to-eat food or RTEF boxes. In a news release, Dumlao, also DSWD spokesperson, said the agency stand with local government units to provide immediate assistance and comfort to affected families, as President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. always instructed whenever a disaster strikes. Heavy rains spawned by Ramil have so far affected a total of 14,500 families or 30,368 individuals from 147 villages in regions 2 or the Cagayan Valley, 3 or Central Luzon, 5 the Bicol region, and 6 Western Visayas. Of those affected, 3,028 families or 7,834 persons are taking temporary shelter in 131 evacuation centers across the 4 affected regions. The DSWD expects more LGU requests for augmentation support as the number of affected families is projected to rise once data consolidation is completed and Ramil exits the Philippine area of responsibility. Dumlao affirmed that the agency is well equipped to provide more aid if the need arises, with close to 2 million FFPs already pre-positioned across agency warehouses nationwide. The DSWD also maintains more than 169 million pesos in standby funds ready to be tapped for ongoing disaster response operations.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council or NDRRMC Chair and Defense Secretary Gilberto Chodoro Jr. has directed government agencies and local government units or LGUs to intensify earthquake preparedness measures through regular drills, infrastructure audits, and retrofitting of critical facilities. In Memorandum Number 279, Chodoro ordered the Office of Civil Defense or OCD and all Regional Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Councils or RDRRMCs to immediately intensify earthquake risk reduction measures while ensuring public service continuity. The order comes in the wake of a spate of powerful earthquakes that struck across different parts of the country. RDRRMCs, chaired by OCD regional directors, were tasked to coordinate these activities and assess the performance of LGU, Local Disaster Risk Reduction and Management, or LDRRM offices in coordination with the OCD and the Department of the Interior and Local Government or DILG, and provide performance evaluations to both agencies. Teodoro also ordered RRMCs to consult with the Department of Science and Technology's Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology, or DOST FIVOX, for technical support. Earlier this month, during a National Interagency Coordinating Cell or NIACC meeting, Teodoro directed the review of local contingency plans to ensure all established disaster protocols of LGUs within their area of responsibility or AOR are validated and up to date. The OCD said it continues to collaborate with various agencies and LGUs to enhance the country's disaster preparedness amid the ongoing threats of hazards and disasters.
Dateline Malacañang.
The Department of Human Settlements and Urban Development, or DSUD, is now expediting the completion of a second Bayanihan village for families displaced by the powerful earthquake in Daanbantayan, Cebu, as ordered by President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. This after the President inspected on Friday the first Bayanihan village in Poblacion Town, San Remigio, where DSUD deployed modular shelter units or MSUs for quake victims to have safer and comfortable temporary shelters. DSUD has already turned over the MSUs to the local government unit and now occupied by the initial beneficiaries. The Bayanihan village in San Remigio was completed in just a week following concerted efforts by various government agencies. In a news release Saturday, Secretary Jose Ramon Aliling said, even before the turnover of the Bayanihan village in San Remigio, construction of other Bayanihan villages have already begun. Immediately after accompanying the President during Friday's inspection in San Remigio, the DSUD chief proceeded to the village of Paho, Daanbantayan, to check on the progress of the ongoing works at the second Bayanihan village in Cebu. The site has already been readied in close coordination with the DPWH, and the installation of MSUs has begun. Daanbantayan town was among the hardest hit towns when the magnitude 6.9 earthquake struck Cebu last September 30th. Meanwhile, families who were among the initial beneficiaries now occupying the MSUs in the Bayanihan village in San Remigio have expressed elation after receiving their units.
Dateline Malacañang.
And finally, the remains of the Filipino seafarer from the ship MV Minerva Grac, who died when Houthi rebels attacked the ship at the Gulf of Aden on September 29th, has returned to the Philippines on Sunday. Representatives from the Department of Migrant Workers, or DMW, Overseas Workers Welfare Administration, or OWA, the licensed manning agency, and the victim's family were present to receive the remains. According to initial information, the remains will be brought to Iligan City, the hometown of his wife, before bringing it to Zamboanga del Sur, where his parents and relatives are awaiting for his return. The DMW sends its sincerest condolences to the family of the fallen Filipino mariner and assured of continuous help and support as directed by President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. The DMW requests the public to pray and respect the family of the fallen crew member in this time of mourning. Meanwhile, the DMW is currently conducting an investigation to determine if the manning agency and the foreign principal would be held accountable and subjected to appropriate penalties or punishments if they were proven to have violated any rules and or regulations of the agency. The 10 other Filipino crew members returned to the country on October 4th, while one other injured Filipino seafarer returned last October 10th.
Dateline Malacañang.
Before we conclude our program, Radyo Pilipinas World Service of the Presidential Broadcast Service is live on audio streaming. Just download Evox PBS Receiver on your Google Play Store or the App Store from your Apple phone. You can also visit our Facebook page and YouTube channel. Just type in and search for Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Kindly subscribe, like, and share our post as well. And that concludes this edition of Dateline Malacañang. For Radyo Pilipinas World Service, this is Leo Magpayo. Good day and stay safe.
From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.